In today's Tactical Tuesday episode, I'm going to go over several option cards that are a must in today's format. And if you enjoy these types of videos, do consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and hitting that notification bell for more of my future content. While stable color sources can be an issue, some decks have branched out from monocolor to multicolor with all the DNA Digivolution capability this set. In the last two formats, some Digimon had amazing effects to keep your opponents at bay. Rafflesiamon, for example, could Digiburst 2 and prevent a Digimon from attacking or blocking until the end of your opponent's next turn. And in the last format, everyone's favorite deck, Blue Hybrid utilized Tommy Hime and Korikakumon to stun your Digimon from doing anything, as well through your turn. But on their next turn, they just do it again by Tommy's Inheritable or bounce it to your hand with cards like Beowulfmon. But now, in the BT8 format, stunning does nothing. It's either get that Digimon off the board, or it becomes DNA fodder next turn. Because even if you stun a Digimon from attacking or blocking, the Digimon can still be DNA Digivolved with another Digimon of the same level to create a brand new Digimon that can attack that turn. Chimeramon, being the most generic level 5 Digimon, can utilize any two Digimon without specific requirements. Other Digimon like popular Imperialdramon requires you to have specifically a blue and green Digimon to go into your Paildramon or Dino-Beamon plays. Shikuamon with blue and yellow Digimon. But what are other cards you can utilize in this format to really put a damper on your opponent's strategy? Removal itself has become a potential no-go in the current format, but for this video I want to discuss some of the most widely used pieces of removal or attack stoppers in the BT8 format. For the first card I like to bring into discussion, it's Breath of the Gods. Breath of the Gods is a 2-cost option card in black that lets you reboot a Digimon and prevent it from having its DP reduced or return to the hand or deck until the end of the next turn. Because of this option card becomes kind of a delicate plan for this crazy format, where cards can be bounced to your hand or DP depleted. While a delicate plan is also an amazing card, it doesn't have a security effect that prevents your opponent's Digimon from attacking for the turn. Breath of the Gods sees a lot of play potential in X-Antibody, and for me, I've begun splashing it into my Black War Greymon build to give reboot to Black War Greymon for the blocker potential the following turn. Howling Crusher is another interesting card that can have some very interesting interactions in today's format. While not something that I'm personally using, this card is a 7-cost option card that has play potential in blue decks and can be utilized in 3 Musketeers build that splash blue. Stripping all of your opponent's Digimon of their Digivolution sources can be huge, especially if they have Inheritables or a huge stack that can do a lot of damage. This card is most effective against X-Antibody and DNA decks that need those bottom sources in order to do any work. Armor Digimon? No more Purge for you. This can also potentially affect Chimeramon that have not yet Digivolved, because the moment all those sources are stripped, this Digimon is now only a white Digimon, meaning your average deck won't be able to Evo Climb with it anymore. Ultimate Flare is another option card that I've seen in several builds already. This option card de-Digivolves one Digimon by 3 stages, then nukes all Digimon with a play cost of 3 or less. In previous formats where Rookie Rush decks were very popular, this card did a lot of work. But now, you'll be able to set your opponent back by de-Digivolving their DNA Digivolved Digimon and prevent them from climbing to their level 6. While a big punish is not as likely as before, setting them back can also be huge as they'll need to find their DNA cards again or another color that matches up to that Digimon. Though to be fair, they could just Digivolve into it for its normal Digivolution cost instead. Do keep in mind that the wording on de-Digivolve does state that if it de-Digivolves to a level 3, you stop. In the case of de-Digivolving an Imperialdramon, you might de-Digivolve it to its rookie in the stack Vmon, which deletes the rest of the stack. The last card I want to briefly touch on is Crimson Blaze. This destructive option card is limited to Digimon with 6000 DP and deletes all of your opponent's Digimon with this amount of DP or less. In addition, the memory cost is reduced by 1 for each Digimon your opponent has in play. This option card is very strong against Digimon that play more Digimon, i.e. Mastemon and Imperialdramon. On the downside, while you can potentially board wipe their small Digimon, the target pool is severely limiting. Mastemon decks just play Lucemon Chaos mode, which dodges it. and if your opponent was smart enough to go into Imperialdramon or Dino-Beamon, they're also safe. But this also prevents them from playing any Digimon their next turn, which can be huge if you have the play to break their board. This also means Nokia's checked in the security will not be able to play Agumons or Gabumons that turn either. But against Armor Rush, this card is pretty useless, considering the armored Digimon simply Armor Purge and stay on board. But if you happen to run Ju Chaomon too, you might be able to reduce the play cost first with Crimson Blaze, then finish the job with the Sovereign himself. What are your thoughts on removal in the current format, and what cards do you specifically like to use against your opponent? Let me know in the comments below. This is DIGI-PANDA, logging out.